Bonjour, je m'appelle Crispy Nuts. Comme ça, comme si. So obviously, per my terrible French, today we're finally gonna be talking about Mignon, Korean BL animation from Korea. This is by the same studio or people, I believe, that did Hyperventilation. But I did enjoy Hyperventilation. I could not tell you what the plot was about because I watched it for very specific reasons. But hopefully I'll be able to coherently remember what goes on with Mignon as I vlog it. Today I'll be vlogging episode by episode, all 12 episodes. Expectations going in, I think it's gonna be fine. I'm not particularly attracted to the boxer guy, but I am attracted to who I believe is a vampire about a month later after the hype. But hey, y'all wanted to see it. I'm here to deliver. Let's get into Le Mignon. Just finished episode 1, episode uno, episode Maybe I should bring back my French counting days. We've been introduced to the doctor. We've been introduced to Mignon, who is the white-haired boxer. Doctor is hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Basically, there's this whole underground boxing thing, and the doctor is like the doctor for it, and then Mignon is a boxer in it, but he's a college student, and the doc is like, you should be doing other shit with your time. And then by the end of it, we learn that the doc is a vampire. Couldn't tell that from the trailer. And he's sucking on some blood, and there's a guy laying down. So I don't know if the guy laying down is dead, and he like sucked his blood, or he like pulled the blood from him, but I'm sure we'll find out in time, or he's gonna give the blood. I don't know. We'll find out in episode 2 in a few minutes. But Mignon is like a masochist, first of all. And like, I know masochists well because I am reading Raise Waitani Gai. I highly recommend it, but I hate the English title because it's not even anywhere close to what the Japanese name is, and it feels very clickbaity in an oversimplification of the story. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about Mignon. I mean, it's interesting so far. It very much looks like a fan animation. It's very blocky, a little bit clunky. What else? The doc is hot. What more do I have to say? Looking forward to the and I saw a slip of a nip. So I'm looking forward to more of those. These episodes are so short. Episode 2. So the coach sucks. We already knew that. Doctor apparently wants to help Mignon or save him because apparently he would have to be killed for finding out that the doctor's a vampire, or that there's probably other vampires in the vicinity. So now he has to get 100 vials of blood in a week. Good luck with that shit. You better rob a fucking blood bank. It's interesting that there's like so much plot because I feel like Hyperventilation was very much like, I could be misremembering because I really only watched it for this scenes, but I feel like that was a lot of like implied story there as opposed to like this having a very straightforward like, this is the story. This is what's going on. There's a lot more voice acting in this than I feel like there was in Hyperventilation. Aside from episode 3, where we have both Nip and wow, there. The bodies are not terrible. I don't dislike them. They're fine, but it's nice to see the attention to detail. Because I was going to say, I feel like the rest of the body could use a little bit more work. But clearly we know where the entirety of attention went to. Mignon just lost a fight because he basically gave up. I don't know why he's even doing this. If that's what it appears to be, that's generally what his fights kind of go, is that he doesn't do anything, but apparently, again, he's a masochist in love. He's confessed to Sensei. And the doctor's like, I'm sorry for confusing you or some shit. It's dramatic, and it's really good dramatic music so far. But I'm only a quarter of the way in, so I wonder how long it'll be until they Episode 4, so in spite of being told to just leave, Mignon went into overdrive. Apparently he can fight, was beating up everybody at the underground fight club, which is probably making his manager a killing, unfortunately. But the doc is now overworked and starved, apparently. He apparently, like, hasn't been drinking blood in order to save up to pay Master Wu. But he's also still talking about, like, I don't know. I was confused because it seemed to imply that he got the 100 vials or whatever. But it also seems to imply that he hasn't been eating, but also it seems to imply that he hasn't fully paid it off or taken care of Mignon or something. I don't know. All I know is he has big old yaoi hands. Staple! We love to see him return. Then at the end, Mignon bit his lip and then kissed the doctor to give him blood. Because the doctor's probably malnourished or something and hasn't had blood in forever, as it seems to imply. Which is dramatic, unsanitary, but what do you expect with vampires? Yeah, this is also another whiplash. These episodes are so short. Episode 5. So they really f***ing went at it. That kiss, good lord. The way he like started kissing him and then like Mignon like held the doctor's mouth back, and you see him like feral with the f***ing fangs. That shit was hilarious. They really f***ing went at that shit. Sucked the life out of him. Except not really. I guess it's like the blood payment was to save Mignon's life, like to prevent him from just being killed. And then I think then the decision is like what to do with him after that. So like he can live, but it's like y'all gotta get rid of him or something. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I feel like Mignon is gonna end up a vampire at the end, probably. That's usually how this goes, but I guess we'll just have to see. I wonder if this is a tragic end. That would be nice. I do love my tragedies in BL, but Doc is clearly attached. I'm gonna have to say though, like one negative is that like this is just a dynamic that I really don't care for. The like airheaded, like almost himbo like Seme, and then the like, because I'm going to assume that Mignon is probably the top just based off of how Korean BL usually pans out, and most BL pans out, honestly. He's the taller one. It doesn't matter that he's younger. And then the doctor is like the like stoic or angry or jaded, okay, or whatever. And like those two things individually I can like in different scenarios, but this type of dynamic is one that I don't particularly care for. Like it reminds me of, as y'all know, I had like a redemption for Dakaichi. I very much enjoy Dakaichi, but yeah, I don't love like Junta and Takato's dynamic there. Although I will say I think I probably enjoy it more than whatever's going on here. I just don't particularly care for Mignon himself. I really like the doctor. I think he's hot and interesting and hot. But Mignon is just kind of like, I don't know, personality is like really turning me off. He's just too like innocent, naive about things. And it's not that I don't like innocent, naive characters, but it's like you're a boxer in like an underground boxing league or whatever, and like you're, I don't know, like this like pureness annoys me. I guess basically. But that head pat, one of the BL God cards. Oh, is it one of the BL God cards? Maybe it's a special summon. But like, yeah, no, the head pats, of course, as if we didn't know this was BL already, grabbed his hand and like put it on that was funny though, I will say. Episode 6. The happened? So, Mignon is trying to swoon me. I know he's in a whatever the situationship with the doctor or whatever, but he's clearly trying to seduce me because he's over here at the garage trying to give Oki Arcata or Okada, I forget what the last name is, but Oki Doki Artichoke me from Full Service. It's not working. Nice try, but close, but not close at all. Nothing really has happened. He's just continuing to punch people. The only major development is that there's some guy who's trying to fix the match with him. We'll see how that goes probably in the next episode. Uneventful episode. These are so short. It's so short. I had more to say with like individual chapters in most manhwa, but here we are. Episode 7. So Mignon was supposed to throw a fight, but because his boo came to watch, he didn't throw the fight, and instead he won the fight. And so we haven't seen the repercussions yet, but I believe they're coming. Meanwhile, him and the Doc are just being buddy-buddy. Doc is now entering his blushing phase of this relationship, which is kind of annoying. I'm not a huge fan of that. But it happens, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, one thing I noticed is that like, besides Mignon and the doctor, everyone is like old as shit in the face. I don't know why that's the choice, but everyone is like old looking in the face, like real old looking. Which I guess is to highlight the main couple, I guess, but it's just kind of an odd choice. Because even the character, like in the crowd, the faces I've noticed, I'm like, everybody looks old as shit. And all the fighters that Mignon has fought has been old as shit. The manager's old as shit. Everyone everywhere is old as shit. The Master Wu is old as shit. Like, everybody's old as shit. Episode, what is this? Episode 8. So we knew Mignon was stupid as f, but why would you even tell your abusive ass coach that you didn't throw the fight because of someone, but you care about this someone, but like what, like you... Like, what is the train of thought here? Like, what is the point of telling your coach who doesn't care about you clearly that you basically have a crush on, like, why would you do that? Mignon's stupid as f. Although I will say that blood gushing out the white hair at the end, that was a nice touch. I mean, like, it was, I mean, it's f***ed up. That was like a nice artistic choice. Like, oh, slow-mo, hit with the wrench, and then the gradual bleeding. That was nice. That was, I applaud the articism. Or whatever the f. That's about all that's happened. The doctor got beat up, but the doctor clearly can heal all his wounds, so that's a non-issue. I only have, what, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 episodes left? I'm interested to see how this is going. It's taking way too long for them to f in my opinion. But nobody's ever had to make me wait this long. Just kidding. Episode what? 9? Episode 9? Doc said I should have killed you. And then he said I should have gutted you like a fish and thrown you in the ocean. And made sushi with your innards. He didn't say exactly verbatim all that, but wow, that was a lot. That was powerful. Listen, I mean, say how you feel. Honesty is the best policy. Well, we already found this out last episode. They found out that, like, the coach ran off with the money. Although, apparently, he didn't get far, because I guess they hooked him. The people he took the money from or whatever, they got him apparently off screen. Mignon came to tell the doctor, the doctor said, "Get out of here, you big stupid animal." Whatever that SpongeBob quote is. The gang came to beat the doctor up. The doctor was gonna slice and dice them up, but then Master Wu came in and f***ed them up, apparently. And now we're hunting for Mignon. There was one shot where I realized the doc kind of looks like Uenoyama, and I believe that's on purpose. I refuse to believe that's not on purpose, which makes me wonder who Mignon is supposed to be based after. If the doc is Uenoyama combined with Takato Saijo, then who is Mignon supposed to be? Because it's not Junta Azumaya. It's maybe, yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. Gojo. Low-hanging fruit. And one other thing I guess I could say is that the soundtrack of this is actually fairly impressive. Like, now it's giving, like, Blade Runner vibes, but it had that weird SpongeBob track several episodes ago, and there's been a little bit of jazz. It's a lot of variety. Half of it I would say I don't particularly care for, but it's impressive music sounding in this at all. Episode 10, you sick f***ers. I see why y'all recommended this. It's giving dramatical murder. The OVA, the bad end, specifically Noise's bad end. I see why y'all are into this, you sickos. I support you. I endorse you. So he found Mignon near death, brought him back to his house, and then Mignon was definitely gonna die, and then he gave him the vampire bite, and then like a ass sequence of events of transformation where like his guts, he started bleeding everywhere, and then his guts blew out of his stomach, and then he like healed all of it, and he was getting all over in the bathtub, and then he came back to life, and now he has black hair. So they're related, so now it's in. Yes. Just kidding. But yeah, what I was gonna say is that like this is a vampire story I actually really like. Like I feel like the use of vampires in this is like in a way that I'm enjoying it. Cause I think I've said before, I forget what, I think it might have been Blood Bank. Like a lot of vampires is a thing that like I want to work for me most of the time, but a lot of times it just doesn't. But it seems to be working here. I don't think we're gonna get much in terms of the lore of vampires. It's just kind of like vampires exist. You've been bitten by a vampire, now you're a vampire. But that sequence, that sequence was a lot. I can't believe they allowed that on Vimeo. Yeah, that was interesting. My interest has like spiked a bit. That was thrilling. That was quite a sequence. Episode 11, they're making me wait 12 episodes for a scene. Mignon has fully turned. Let me just say, I might take back what I said about the vampires in the last check-in, because the baby food metaphor, up the blood you shed in the bathtub, that's disgusting. Ew. And then what did he say? There was something else, oh, like your bowel movement will cease to function because you don't eat human food, and I don't know, I might take it back what I said about enjoying the vampire aspect about it, because the baby food thing was the f***ing yuck. F***ing yuck. But yeah, now they're living together. Mignon, I don't know if I said this already, but Mignon looks better with black hair, but he's still Mignon, so he's annoying to me, and he's getting more annoying, honestly, as they were getting into the bed stuff, and him being like, oh, I'll make sure to be gentle. It's like, you are literally, you're probably several hundred years younger than him. How do you know that the doctor hasn't somebody before? And then when the hell did you? Because you were living under this freaking, you were apparently living with the coach. I don't know, that whole scenario, I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? Because I'm not with it. I'm not with this dynamic. Also, the doc has basically changed character archetypes, which I'm not hugely a fan of. I mean, I like the doc as a character. I would watch a story centered around him, but I just don't particularly care for Mignon himself. But they're about to finally. Mignon was being annoying. He wouldn't take his own bed, I think that's the thing is, Mignon now kind of looks like Matthew from Under the Green Light, but with black hair, which I think is why he seemed somewhat attractive all of a sudden. But yeah, the doc has apparently been probably alive for a real long time, because he said everybody would perish before him. So how big is the age gap? He's like, I'll let you in about the bed, and then Mignon was at the end was like, oh, are you gonna let me in? And it's like, okay. Sit down, dumb f***. I will say, the transformation sequence is still a highlight. I have one more episode to go. I believe this episode is gonna be longer than the others. Yeah, 8 minutes. There better be 8 minutes of straight f***. That's it. That's all I want. That's all I desire. That's all it needs to be. But good things are about to happen. Good things come to those who wait. Not really, but we'll see. Episode 12, so it's over. It's another series or characters. I feel like I have a lot to say, but I feel like I don't have a lot to say because I don't even want to address it existing. First of all, that like post-credit scene was weird. Like Mignon is just really annoying, like really annoying. Like I just don't like him. I've come to terms with the fact that I just don't like him. The whole sex scene scenario was it was gonna be fine, and then the crux of it all is the like, this is my first time, but you're doing all this like acrobatic, like in the know, like sexual things, like you him to orgasm, like how luck of the draw? I don't think so. And then the doc, who's supposed to be like several, probably hundreds, at least 100 years old, I would assume, being all like, oh my god, like typical like bottom in the scenario in most BL. And like, this is a very common, I feel like, archetype of characters, particularly where like the seme is more of like this annoying, like they're naive and then they end up annoying and then they're just really good at sex just because. And I feel like, I don't know. It's like, is this the type of men that people will write this desire? Because it's like very undesirable to me. He like bit his Achilles heel. Which is someone who's had Achilles issues in the past, I did not appreciate. It's like, of all the places to bite and do like vampire bite play, like you chose the Achilles. Why? I need you to explain that. Thigh would have made sense, or like the calf would have made sense, because calves are juicy, but he did the Achilles. Or like if you bit into like the foot, the bottom of the foot, I mean, as someone with ticklish feet, I wouldn't appreciate it, but it would make sense to me. Oh, and they were doing this on white sheets. Out of here. I think just the thing is that Mignon is reminding me of someone, but I don't know who he reminds me of. Not like a real person, but like a character in BL specifically. It's not BJ Alex. It's some sort of seme who like is also like similarly naive, but then also like wants to have sex all the time, which honestly is like 90% of them, but I mean, and yeah, the end scene was super strange. Now he's with the doctor working as like the doctor's assistant in the ring. There was like a metaphor of like him being outside the ring now, but then it just kind of ended. But this is another series where I feel like it just kind of like derails once we get to the sex scene where everybody feels somewhat out of character and like, again, things aren't making sense with what's being said. Like, we didn't have to address if this is the first time or not. If you didn't, it's like, I feel like we could formulate all kinds of opinions and thoughts about what the backstory of that might mean, but it's like, have you done this with anybody before? It's my first time. And it's like, really? Because you lasted a whole lot longer than most of us. And then on top of that, it's like, you're doing all this extra shit. Like, have you, like, I don't think you've ever had access to the internet. You were like living in like a like side room at the garage. Like, it just, I don't, and he's not a college student. It's not like he's at college, even though that was implied earlier in the story, like very first episode. I don't know. It just kind of went off the rails. It's another series where I feel like it's meant for its aesthetics over its story, which is fine. But overall, I think I'm going to give it like, that's a good question. What score am I gonna give it? Overall, things I enjoyed was the Doctor. I like Master Wu. I would probably watch an entire like prequel with the two of them, like just how they got to know each other. I assume Wu is also a vampire, but there's no way to tell. I just didn't like Mignon at all. Really and truly, aesthetically, or definitely not personality-wise. I think it was a beautifully done animation for like for what it's worth. I definitely liked Hyperventilation a whole lot more. I don't know, something about like the structure of the story I think is just off to me, so like I can't like enjoy it for that really. I did think the slight exploration of vampires was interesting, but at the same time for it to be so surface level is just kind of like, I would have liked to see more, maybe Mignon season 2, although I don't think that's likely if the company who did this took it off Vimeo or whatever, like after it like was out. So doubt there'll be Mignon part 2, filet, or whatever. Overall, I really don't know what I'm gonna give this as a score. I instinctually for most of it, I wanted to say 7. Because of this ending, I feel like I'm gonna give it a 6. I don't know, the Doctor all of a sudden being like all blushy about everything, like I don't, okay, and then Mignon has just got worse. It's the story, so I'm probably gonna give it a 6. Do I think this was overhyped? No, for what it is, like, it was very impressive aesthetically. Definitely an evolution over Hyperventilation. I'm late as to this party. Slightly disappointed, but it is what it is. But that's Mignon. The latest BL animation we've gotten, period. I don't even know when the next one is. When's 10 count coming? When's, you know what, while I'm here, I don't know how long this video is, but we love to extend things. Let me check what other BL series are on the way. Oh, Mask Danchi should be coming out soon. Should be coming out this year. We'll see about that. It's all, the only 3 BL that are on the way at this point, apparently, is Mask Danchi wa Koi Shitakunai Noni, 10 count, waiting forever, and Shinyaranai icon. You'll know how I feel about that one. Although I feel like there's definitely some missing, because isn't there supposed to be a Given follow-up? But that's not on here. Oh, here we go. That, what is it? Cherry Magic? F out of here. Tatsugari Outfocus, no thank you. Tokyo Babylon 2021, never. Sayazuru, where the hell is the second Sayazuru and third Sayazuru movie? And then Given has a new sequel coming out, who knows? Oh, it's gonna be a 2-part movie. That'll be interesting. Dream Daddy continuing on my YouTube channel members. Click the join button, or on my Patreon. Aiden Scoutmaster Season continues on my Patreon. We're entering into October. That's everything for this video. I'm sorry I'm disappointed. Bye!